Everyone, big thanks for joining us. If you can just make sure you've got your microphones muted for us, that would be great. And then we'll give you an opportunity if you want to ask questions to unmute. So can everyone, while we wait for everyone to join us, if you just mute your microphones, that would be amazing. We'll just give everyone a chance to join us, guys. We've got about 2 more minutes to go until we get to 7 o'clock. And then we will get straight in with the call for this month, and we'll cover off. We've got some great questions in. Guys, if you do have any questions you want to ask about the Pro Player Pathway program, the program that you're currently on, following the program, if you're involved in the trials in 2026 and you've got any questions around that, feel free, guys, to drop the questions in the comments below, and we will answer the questions for you during this call. So a big thank you for everyone joining us, and we're just going to give everyone 1 more minute. We've still got people joining us as we speak. I hope everyone's well. Big apologies to everyone who was online last night. We did put an automated message to go out at 7:30 a.m. yesterday, just with the sad news around Diego passing away at Liverpool Football Club. But unfortunately, I realised it was an error on my side. We actually posted it to go out at 7:30 p.m. an error. So, but a big thank you for everyone joining us. In the event you did miss tonight's meeting, it's all recorded so we can watch this back as well. Hi, everyone. I hope you're well. So at 7 o'clock, we will get the meeting started this evening. A big thank you for everyone for joining us. We're probably going to be about 30 to 45 minutes. If you can't stay on that long, don't worry. The session is recorded and we will share the link. And this gets posted back into the school community app so you can watch it back at a later date. I'm asking everyone if you guys can drop in any questions that you've got relating to the program. Maybe you're having 1 or 2 issues. Maybe there's a couple of things you just want to ask general questions. If you can drop it into the chat for me, and I will get through all of those questions. In the event we can't get through all the questions, whoever posts the question, I most definitely will get back to you via an email or a separate call. But normally we can quite easily get through all of the questions. Now, we did have the head of the strength and conditioning joining us from Liverpool Football Club for the call yesterday. Obviously, with everything that went on and with the sad news about Diego passing, Liverpool have officially shut the club down for 2 or 3 days at the moment whilst the funeral's going ahead today. So unfortunately, we won't have our guest speaker with us tonight, but I still wanted to come on and to make sure we could do a meeting. We will hopefully get that meeting picked up. So there's a good chance in the month of July, we're going to do 2 meetings. We'll do 1 more in the middle of the month with our special guest. And we will do our regular July meeting, which will be at the end of July as well. And we've also got a special guest coming online for that. So first thing I'm going to talk about, guys, is we've got a couple of questions that's come in on the school community from the post that we posted out today. So I am going to just read out some of those questions, and we've still got people joining us. And I will just pull up those questions for us. So first question we have is from Sean Y. Sean asked us, that we've got our games recorded for our match analysis. How do we go ahead and get our match analysis completed? I'll put this, Sean, I'll reply back to the message in the school community for you as well. But you need to email service at proplayerpathway.com. So that's service at proplayerpathway.com. Also, we have had one or two families who've had issues with emails being sent in over the past couple of weeks and not getting through. We've actually got to the bottom of it. We've actually recently done a migration from Windows across to Gmail to Google. And we've just discovered that we did have a major issue with certain people who were sending us emails and weren't able to get them through. Just to let you know in the future, guys, if you are sending emails and you think you're not getting a reply for any reason, don't hesitate to drop that message into the school community as well. And we will always get that answer for you straight away and rectify. But we've got our migration issues are completely over now, we hope. We actually had our final migration remigrated back across yesterday. So that should be the end of all the issues. The next question is from Joe Zachariah. So Joe has asked, I want to know the details of visa and age requirements for non-European Australian passport holders when they are successful in trials in the UK or Europe. So there's a couple of things around that one, Joe. It's a great question. If you are looking to go into the EU, if you're a non-European or UK passport holder, we can get you opportunities and you can be signed to a club from the age of 14 onwards. If you are looking to go and play professionally in the UK and you are a non-UK passport holder, the age is from 16 years of age onwards. However, can we get players across for trials earlier and get them opportunities opened up? 100%. So we've got players joining us on our trials next April in 2026, some which will be under the age of 16 and who are non-British passport holders. The beauty about that is it gives the players an opportunity to go and have a look, a touch and a feel of what it's like over there, but also to start to get looked at by clubs, and then hopefully there's opportunities that we can open up. So anyone who's a non-European or British passport holder, the age is 14 years of age when you can officially sign with the club and move over that way to Europe. And for the UK, it's 16. Now, anyone who does has access to an EU or a UK passport, that's completely out the window and you guys could go anytime you wanted to. Okay, next one is from Joe again. What is the cost range of fees once they are successful in trials? Can you give me some examples based on the last successful trials? So that's a very broad ranging answer that I'm going to give you, Joe. So I'll give you an example. We've got players to Bolton Wanderers, Manchester City, Liverpool, and those players who've got contracts at those clubs, they pay $0, no money, nothing to pay at all. We've had players who've signed for private academies and some professional clubs who might have to pay expenses, which is accommodation, food and meals, if you want to live on site or stay at the club. And then there's players who've gone to private academies who've paid anything from $5,000 all the way up to $20,000, $30,000 a year. But obviously, again, that includes things like accommodation, insurance, your kit, all of your fixtures. So it just changes case by case. It depends how well you do as a player. But some of our best results over the past couple of years, we've had players sign for pro clubs. And what you've got to remember in the UK and Europe, guys, there's no fees once you're signed professionally by a pro club. So if you're one of those players who gets signed, you don't need to pay anything whatsoever. Some clubs will look for you to pay for things like accommodation and meals if you're looking to move across on your own without family support. But again, it's a case-by-case scenario. Justin Swell put in the next question, keen to hear more about our April 2026 trials and some more information. We are going to save the trials in April for the end of this meeting today because I'm aware that we have got some players on this call who are not going to the trials in April next year, which is fine. But I just want to get through the main part of this presentation, and then we'll open up for the trials at the end, where we'll have some questions and answers, but also we're going to advise you a little bit about what we're going to be providing you guys at the moment as well. So that was a great question. Now, I don't think I've got any more questions on the school community. What I am going to do, I'm going to have a little look in the chat here, and I believe we've had some questions coming in. So, hi Ray, hope you're well. Is it too late to be considered for the trials in 2026? And that was from Chris Smith. So, guys, it's not too late to be considered. What we do say is we don't promise or guarantee that we can get you a place in April 2026. However, if you are interested in joining us in April 2026 for the trials to the Premier League, what we ask you to do is send us an email to service@proplayerpathway.com, or you can actually message me direct in the school community, and I will get your email address and get someone to reach out to you, and we can set up an appointment to meet with me or Jamie, our head of projects, and we'll look to see if we can get you onto those trials. So it's a great question, Chris. The answer is definitely yes, it's still okay to apply, but we are starting to get against time a little bit because we've only got about 10 months to go until we travel over. What would a player have to do to be ready? So again, that's a great question. So what we're going to cover is at the end of this call, we're going to start to post in the school community our monthly skill challenge and what you should be doing on the run up to the trials. So this is a great thing. Even if you're a player on our program, but you're not coming on the trials with us in April, you can still follow this additional program along. And what it is, we're going to post on Monday a PDF document into the school community. And it's going to outline the steps that you need to take. And I'll cover that off in a little bit. We'll park that for the next 10 minutes or so, and I'll come back to that. Okay, next one is from Christy Morkos. How do I do the DNA hair test? So the DNA hair test is a great one. So it's obviously part of the full-time Pro Player Pathway program. So if you're part of that program, you would get that for free for your son or daughter. It's included in the program. Again, all you need to do is email service@proplayerpathway.com, and we will get that arranged for you. You should have already done your DNA test if you're only new to the program, but you would have got it on the email, the welcome email when you joined, and the link's there on how you do it. But again, if you need help with it, drop us a message in the school community, or you can actually send us an email to service@proplayerpathway.com, and we will get that fixed up for you straight away. And it's pretty quick to turn around. Thanks for that, Christy. That was a great question. Next one's from Parker. Is there any trials in the UK 2026 September? The trials run every April. What we do in September is our normal tour. And what I mean by the normal tour is we don't have that sort of elite level trial opportunity as a group setting. However, if we've got players on the program who can't make April, but they're really pushing to get across in September, as long as your DNA test results are back, you've got your match objectives from your match analysis, your objectives are 3 or 4 objectives completed all the way through, and I've had a look at some of your stats and data, including your GPS data, then we might consider you eligible to still trial in September 2026. So the answer is, Parker, it is possible to go in September. And again, it's a case-by-case situation. I would need to look at every player before we accept you. But yeah, you could go across in that September window. So next one is from Yaniv. Should I email service regarding the Sports Fest and the GPS? I haven't heard back. It's been a week. Yeah, my advice would be, Yaniv, drop us a message in the school community with your email address, but also send an email to service@proplayerpathway.com. For anyone who joined the meeting late, we've had a few issues with an email migration. We migrated from Windows across to Gmail. I'm not very tech savvy, but we only discovered on Thursday of this week that we had an issue with the migration and we haven't been getting everyone's emails. So just to confirm with everyone, as a backup, if you do send an email and there's ever an issue and you're not getting a reply within 48 hours, that should be a warning sign that there could be an issue. Maybe it's gone into junk email. Always drop us a message in the school community and we will get that chased up. But we've been told by our tech and IT guys that the emails are all up and running and working fine now. So hopefully that's the case. Great question. Next question is from Christy again. Is there a group on the Apex Stats Sports app? So I'm not too sure what we mean by a group. If you mean like the Pro Player Pathway group where we can all see each other, like the different players, we don't have that capability within the GPS because that's owned by Stats Sports. What we do is we have our school community. And we're also going to be announcing in the call today a little bit about some changes about how we log in the GPS data and the match objectives moving forward. Now, I don't think we've got any more questions. So guys, what I am going to ask is if anyone's got any questions whatsoever, please drop them in the chat group for me and I'll come back to the questions in a moment. What I am going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about our up-and-coming special guests that we've got coming up. So as we said, for anyone who joined us on time today, we should have had a special guest on from the strength and conditioning team from Liverpool Football Club yesterday. But due to the sad passing of Diego Jota, that's been cancelled, unfortunately. Also, we've got a special guest joining us, which is very, very exciting. From Paris Saint-Germain at the end of July, who's one of the youth team coaches. And for anyone who follows the Champions League and the football, you'll know that PSG won the Champions League this year and they're currently playing that World Club Cup. So an exciting guest that's going to be joining us. Also, whilst I wait for more questions to drop in, guys, we'll talk a little bit about the trials in 2026. And also, this is for anyone who's not coming on trials in 2026, but is currently on the full-time program. You're going to be able to access this PDF program that we've put together for all the players. So some of the things and the considerations, if you're a player who's coming on trial with us in April to the Premier League, a couple of things you need to start thinking about is your GPS tracker and wearing your vest as much as possible. Also, one of the considerations on the program that we've included for you to follow in more detail is the amount of hours that you need to follow to be successful in your trials next April. So, as an example, Mr. Vela, who I can see is on the screen at the moment with his Man City jersey. Hey, guys, I hope you're well. You guys, let me remember, I think you are 12 years of age at the moment. Is that right? So what you would need to do, Mr. Vela, you would need to do 13 hours a week. Now, of those 13 hours, 70% needs to be football specific. The other 30% is non-specific to football. So things like going for a swim, going on a walk, going on a recovery run, playing basketball, playing netball. So just playing something slightly different. What we're going to do is in this document that you get on Monday via the school community, it's going to give you a roadmap of everything you should be following every day. Now, on that roadmap, not only will it tell you the hours, it will also tell you things like the types of programs you should be following on a regular basis on the school community. So let's put the hours aside. One of the other big things that you need to be following. So let's say Mr. Vela looks at his hours and he's meant to be doing 13 hours a week, of which roughly about 10, 11 hours are football related. If we find that he's only doing 9 hours and he's got a deficit of 2 hours, one of the things that you could be doing is your football blueprint. Now, your football blueprint is on the school community. And if you're not sure where to find it, if you click under courses, you'll see the football blueprint there. You've got things in there like the 4 turns, the 4 dribbles. You've also got your juggling challenge. What we are going to be doing as well, guys, we've had a lot of really good feedback saying that you guys love the football blueprint, but you want a little bit more help and advice with some of it. So we're actually going out on Thursday of this week to shoot some new videos, to not only add in some more new content for the football blueprint, but also to answer the 5 or 6 common questions that we get around the football blueprint. So watch this space on that one. Also, for the boys and girls who've done their match analysis, you need to make sure you are following your objectives and you are posting your objectives. Now, within the school community, and I'm going to walk you through this, and I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see it. So I'll just pull up the correct screen for everyone, if you just bear with me. And I'm going to walk you through where you need to go and what you need to do when you are on the school community. Now, I'm going to get Mr. Vella to help me with this one because I know he's watching and smiling at the moment. So I'm going to get you guys to give me a thumbs up in a second if you can see my screen. Let me see if I can share this screen. Mr. Vella, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, okay? Brilliant. Okay, so everyone should see the school community now. So if we go into the classroom, this is where we see all of the courses. Now, we've got the football blueprint, and this is one of the areas that we were speaking about in here. So within the football blueprint, you will notice on the document that I share with everyone on Monday, this is some of the things that you need to be following on a regular basis. So in here, you've got your 4 turns, you got your 4 dribbles, and you've also got your juggle and challenge. Now, you'll notice there's blue links here. You can click on any of them links, and it will display the video and play the explainer video for you. Also, if you click back on the top at the football blueprint, there is a short video here, which goes for about 10 minutes, and it's definitely worth a watch if you've never watched it. Also, if you click at the bottom blue link here, this is where you can actually download, by going to this download button here, the football blueprint. And you can actually save it to your mobile phone, you can save it to your device. And this is a great way of recording your results as well for your objectives. Now, going back to our match objectives, we need to submit, let's say Mr. Vella is currently working on scanning. And if he's currently working on scanning, he will record his results on how to do his match objectives. Now, one of the questions you might say is, I'm struggling on how to do my match objectives. So again, if we go to classroom, and if we go to football objectives, you've got all of your explainers and also how to actually record. So if we click on here, outfield objectives, and you've got your match objective document. Also, remember, guys, if you're ever struggling with anything on the program, if you go to classroom, if you go to the how-to guides, which is just here, you have got 4 or 5 really valuable videos that I've pre-recorded for everyone to watch. So if you're struggling with their match objectives, if you click on there, there's a video that goes for 6 minutes and it explains on how you do your match objectives. It will also show you how you submit your match objectives, and it will also show you how you keep on top of your match objectives. So one of the considerations is the amount of hours you're doing each week. One is, are you following the football blueprint? The third thing is, are you submitting your match objectives? And the fourth thing that you should be doing is submitting your GPS trackers. Now, with your match objectives and with your GPS trackers, we're not looking for you to submit them to us every day. We're looking for you to record it all on your device on the form that you get given under the classroom, which is here. So if we go classroom and we go objectives as an example, you can download this document here and it shows you where you can record all of your results in the chart. We are only looking for you guys to submit these results to us maybe every 3 or 4 weeks. Maybe monthly is a good way to submit them. It's a good way for us to see how you guys are tracking, but also it's a great way for you to just make sure that you're keeping on top of your match objectives. So, Mr. Vella, did that all come through nice and clear? Can you give me a thumbs up? Cheers, guys. Now, that document's going to get dropped on Monday. And again, that is for all of the boys and girls who are coming on the trials in April. But also, if you're not coming on trials with us in next April, but you're thinking of coming in the future, can you follow this document? Can you start going through the process? Yes, 100%. I would recommend you start preparing yourself, because it's going to be a great thing, especially for our players who are based in Australia and New Zealand, all the way through that period of November, December, Jan, when normally you have downtime because of the long summer. Also, for all of our players who are currently in the USA and Canada and Europe, you guys are all on a summer break at the moment. So it's a great thing for you to just keep kicking over with your objectives. Now, I'm going to go back into the questions, and I'm just going to turn the share off, and I'll just check we've got everyone back. There we go. So I'm just going to go back to the questions. We've got quite a few questions that have dropped in, which is fantastic. And I will try and get through these as best as I can. And again, guys, if you're thinking of any other questions, feel free to drop them in. Even if you've got to disappear early because it's Saturday night, I'll answer the question online. This is going to be recorded and it's going to be dropped into the community. Now, what I will do as well, guys, if anyone's not aware, I'll share my screen again and I will actually show everyone. If you want to watch any of these meetings back, again, if you go to Classroom, and then we should be able to go to Pro Group Zoom meetings. And these monthly meetings are all dropped in here. So we've got the latest one from last month when we were at the Champions League final. We can see where we had one with someone from West Ham United, from the player care, from the first team. So these meetings that we hold every month, they always get put in here. So by Monday, this particular meeting will be below this UCL final Munich one, and it'll be listed as our June 2025 monthly Zoom meeting. So if anyone's ever looking for them, that's where you can find them. Okay, we'll get back to these questions. How can you assist a player who wants to do a football scholarship or uni in Europe or America or Canada? And that is from Chris Smith. So one of the things that's a great question as well, Chris, thank you. One of the questions that we always get asked is around trials, and some of you go, with all respect, we don't want to play in the Premier League. My son and daughter would love to go to the US on a scholarship. So what we do is when we ascertain what your dream is, once we know what your dream is, then we know we can work back from that point. So one of the things that you're going to see next week, I'm going to put a post in the school community. I want every player to tell me what your dream is and where you want to be in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time. Once that's logged in the school community, I know what your dream is. We'll then start working with you individually to start mapping that out and planning it. So whether you want to play in the Premier League for Liverpool, you want to play for Real Madrid, you want to go to a college or a uni in the US, maybe, and get a full scholarship or a part scholarship. Once we ascertain what your dream is and what your vision is, we can help you with that. So again, watch this space in the school community next week, and we're going to be dropping it in. How do you see our results from the GPS tracker? So that's a great question. That's from Christy. So what you guys need to do, I've just showcased it to you. And what I'll do is I'll share the screen again, Christy, and I'll just walk you through it really, really quickly because I want to make sure everyone gets this information. So if you want to log your GPS trackers software so we can see it and ascertain it, we need you guys to go into the how-to guide, and you need to watch this short video. It goes for 7 minutes and 39 seconds. Once you've watched that through, it will explain how you do your GPS results, how you submit them to us, and then we can then access and go through your GPS results for you. So when you request to come on a trial with us, the first thing I would do before we meet with you online, I'll look at your match objectives, I'll look at your GPS results, and I'll also have a look at your hours and to see how you're tracking. So again, if you watch this GPS trackers video, now, if you're looking where to gain the file for the GPS trackers, hit Classroom again. We should have one called GPS trackers, which is down the bottom, I believe, last time I've seen it. So if we go in here, we've got two sections for the GPS trackers. The one on the left has got a whole host of videos and stats and data for your GPS tracker. If we go back into the Classroom again, if we go to the one on the right, sorry, wrong one on the left, the one where we were, you can access everything you need to ask. So how to record your stats, again, you can watch the video in here. And again, at the bottom, guys, you'll see this GPS recording activity link. If you click on there, you can download this document by hitting the download button. And I'll just scroll through it quickly, but it gives you all the explanations on how you log your GPS tracking software results into here. So what you would do is you would go onto the StatSports Apex app, you would look at your results, and it's a great exercise for the players to get that key information and transfer it into the sheet, and then it comes through to us. It's going to give the players a great visual on what they're doing and what they're not doing. And also, it's going to give them a really good opportunity to see how they're progressing against other professional players as well. So hopefully, Christy, that one answers that one for you. I will stop that share and I'll drop back out. Okay, my son Christian was accepted for the trials, but he's not on the program because he was part of the academy and we don't have the trackers. Okay, great question, Justin. So Justin, again, what we'll ask you to do is, if you drop us a message to service@proplayerpathway.com or message me directly in the school community. My team are on there 7 days a week, 24 hours, well, not quite 24 hours, about 18 hours. We'll get that reply back to you. We can actually assist you with getting onto the program, or even if you just want to maybe ascertain a GPS tracker, we can help with that one. Chris Smith, next question. Does playing your best count in the 25% of hours? Does playing to be your best count in the 25% of hours? So I don't think I quite understand that question, but I think what maybe you're trying to say is basically anything that you do in football or soccer makes up 70% of your hours. So I'll just give you a quick example again. If we've got a player who's 9 years of age, it's +1 year age, which means you need to do 10 hours. Of those 10 hours, 7 hours needs to be football related. 3 hours needs to be non-football related. Now, remember, when we do anything, we speak about the two Qs, quality and quantity. If you've got a son or daughter, or you're a player on this program, and you know you're doing 6 hours a week of football, and you're maybe touching the ball once every 4 to 5 minutes in training, that's quantity, that's not quality. Those hours should not be included, because for me, that's not what we're looking for. So again, if you're 9 years of age and you're doing 10 hours a week, of which 7 hours is football, you need to ensure them 7 hours of quality. Now, if you say, with all respect, right, the coaching that our son or daughter gets not the greatest and we're struggling, how can we make up those quality hours? Those quality hours can be made up of the football blueprint, your turns, your dribbles, your juggling, following your objectives on a game day. And again, if you need any more help with this, don't hesitate to drop us a message. But remember, we're looking for quality over quantity. That's what we're looking for. Now, if you know, and I'll give you an example, I won't mention names, but we had one family reach out to us a few weeks ago who had a very similar situation, that they love the club, they love the coaches, but the quality is just not quite there. The kids are maybe touching the ball 6 or 7 times in training, and that's it. My advice to mums and dads are, and to players, get to training 20 to 25 minutes early, or stay 20 to 25 minutes late, follow your football blueprint, follow your 4 turns, follow your 4 dribbles, do your juggling. That's going to bring your quality up on your hours. Now, if you don't have time to get there early or stay late, then you need to look to make time during the week or during the weekend, maybe at home, maybe down a local park. So that was a great question, Chris. Thank you. Okay, next question. This is from Yaniv. For the younger age players, would you be able to help with trials for a local better academy trial as Inter Miami, or for an example, South Florida in the USA? Great question. So Yaniv, that's a great question. Yeah, we can help with that. So what we do is we do 2 things. We do a letter of recommendation from me personally. So everyone on the program, if you want a letter of recommendation from me as a player agent and the highest qualified coach on the planet, I will look at your stats. I'll look at your data. Now, I'm not going to be giving anyone a letter of recommendation to go to a better club if you're not submitting your objectives, if you're not doing your GPS, and if you're not following the program. However, if we ascertain that you're not logging the information, I'll give you guys a few weeks or a few months to start logging it, and then I will happily give you a letter of recommendation. Also, I will actually email the club directly for you on your behalf to basically say that you're working with me, you're working on the program, and you need to be in a better environment to be challenged to develop as a player. So they're the 2 things that we can do for you. So that's a great question. Thanks, Yaniv. Okay, from Chris Smith. Be Your Best is a program you play on a virtual headset. Oh, apologies, Chris. I didn't realize that. It's for working on your scanning. It's used by some pro clubs. So I actually am aware of that. Actually, I didn't read your last question right. No, that definitely will not be included in your 70%. However, it will be included in your 30%. So even though it's still football specific, I wouldn't include that as 70% of your football and being quality. It still might be quality in a sense of it's working on scanning and stuff, but I would definitely include that in your 30%. Great question. And then Yana finished off, once you have enough data and of course video and analytics, yeah, it's 100%. Once I've got your data, Yana, I will happily reach out to clubs for you into Miami, Florida, wherever you're based around the world. We will help you get into that stronger one. Okay, Gav Najay Gow. I hope you're well, Gav. Good to see you, mate. I haven't seen you for a while. Gav's asked me a question. Do you have access to every session we record with the tracker? Okay, so you have access to all of your own stats and data. Okay, what you need to do is you need to follow through the GPS tracker on Classroom under the school community, like we just showed you, and you need to submit your data to us. Okay. We decided about 6 to 12 months ago to move away from the portal, which was our old sort of app that we were using that we had so many problems with. And we decided to move towards the school platform to help us. Also, one of the mistakes that we made, and we admitted this about 6 months ago, we actually made it too easy for the players and we took away some of the learning. One of the learning and the key learnings that still happens in the Premier League. So let's say, Gav, you are 14, 15 years of age and you're currently at, say, Man City in the Premier League. All of your stats and data is not automatically dragged through for you. You've got to record your data the same way all the players on our program record the data and submit it. We actually discovered we took away some of the learning from you guys by doing that for you, and we were doing too much of the work for you. And quite simply, it's really, really important for you guys to recognize when things are going well, but when they're not going well. And by taking that data away from you, you wasn't seeing what you need to do or not need to do. And it makes it more visual. So that's a great question. Thanks, Gav. I hope you're well, mate. Okay, next question for Djokovic. How long does it take to receive the match analysis results? So once you submit your link for your video to our team in the office, it normally takes about 2 to 4 weeks to receive your email back. And that email will give you an email to say, Ford, congratulations, we've completed your match analysis. Here's your results. You'll then get a PDF document with your results on. That coach will then ask you or mum or dad to set up a meeting to do the review, which is a 1 hour online Zoom meeting, and they'll go through your results with you live on screen. Once they've gone through that with you, they'll then share the link back to you so that you've got that to download, and that match analysis is yours to keep. So great question, Ford. You're roughly looking at 2 to 4 weeks from when you submit it. However, it can take a little bit longer. It could be 5 or 6 weeks. But again, if you've submitted a match analysis and you've not heard anything for a few weeks, don't wait, guys. Drop us an email to service@proplayerpathway.com or drop me a message in the school community and we'll help you get it sorted straight away. Okay, next question. Justin. All right, I'll answer this question. So obviously everyone's seen the sad news about Diego Jota, and he asked me a question, do I feel that Diego was a better player than Luis Figo? I actually believe that Luis Figo was a better player than Diego Jota. I love Diego Jota as a player, but if anyone remembers Luis Figo, he was a pretty special player as well. Now, guys, I haven't got any more questions on there. So would anyone else like to ask any other questions before we end the meeting? I'm available for another 15, 20 minutes. So if anyone wants to ask any more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, guys, and I'd love to help you out. Remember, this meeting is recorded. It will be shared back into the classroom under monthly Zoom meetings. If you disconnect from the call tonight and then you remember in the morning there was something you wanted to ask, guys, don't wait for the next meeting. Message us in the school community and we'll answer the question as quick as we can. We normally turn answers around within 24 hours. I've got myself and 2 of the team members who are constantly checking on a daily basis for any questions coming in. So I'll just have one more look. Let's see if we've got any more questions. Okay, great question from Michelle. Wales, when will we get April details, dates, etc.? So great question. So we have provisional dates already for the April trials. We will get them out to you via the school community and via an email next week. You should already have them. If you don't, we'll push them out. Obviously, things can change slightly by a day or two. We actually lock in the full dates around about September, October this year, quite simply because the fixtures for the Premier League get released. I think they were released last week, actually. And then the television in the UK, it's called Sky Sports. They get a month to make any changes to games. By the time we get to September, 99% of the fixtures, once they're locked in, most of the Premier League fixtures won't change. Now, you're probably wondering, why does that matter? It matters a lot, quite simply because the Premier League has a knock-on with the next league down, the Championship, League One, League Two, and then all the youth academies. So it affects everything that goes on whilst we're in the UK. So the answer in short is we'll get you the provisional dates out next week. The actual finalised dates will be September, October this year. The actual full itinerary probably won't get released to everyone until around about 4 weeks before we travel. Again, we don't like to keep sending out itineraries that keep changing all the time, because what you've got to remember is, with all respect, most of these Premier League clubs are businesses worth £1 billion or more, and they move in dates, times. There's a lot of stuff that changes all the time on us. So we will keep you updated and posted on that. And we are super excited to have you all join us on that. If you're not joining us in the April trials, and now you're thinking, actually, I want my son and daughter to attend, how can I apply? Again, drop me a message in the school community or drop us an email to service@proplayerpathway.com. Next question we've got is, other than the meeting, your objectives, records, filming and matches and analysis of matches, do you recommend making YouTube highlights and clips? No. So, Jan, if that's a great question, I'm going to be honest with you. YouTube clips, highlight reels for me are a waste of time. quite simply because most people will just record all the good things that they do. And that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for everything you do well, but we're looking for everything that you don't do too well. And then we turn those negative areas into your strengths, those weaknesses into strengths. So clubs in the UK and Europe, when I refer you as a player agent, they're not interested in highlight reels, guys. They're interested in data. Data's number one, data is king. So they're looking for how many accelerations you do, how many decelerations you do, what distance you cover in a game, what's your percentage of pass completion, what's your percentage of scanning, what's your percentage of creating space and making space. So as you probably guessed it, these are your objectives. So don't waste time with highlight reels, guys. If you want a highlight reel for yourself and for your own benefit, for family members, go for it. But we definitely won't use highlight reels or YouTube clips. That's something that a lot of people over the past thought was useful. And it was like an old school way of trying to get yourself recognized. You don't need to do that to get recognized, guys. You're working with a UEFA player agent, which is me. I'm one of the highest coaches on the planet as well. So all you need to do is do your objectives, submit your GPS data, make sure you're following your football blueprint. Remember the 2 Qs, quality and quantity. We're looking for quality as much as possible. If you follow that, I will 100% get you trials and I'll get you to a pro environment, wherever that may be. Whether that's in USC in Southern California at a uni or a college, or you want to go and play for Barcelona in Spain, we'll help you get there. Okay, hey Ray, just on what you said, this is from Gav. Do we wear the GPS tracker every time we play football, even when we're doing things like juggling in the backyard? So Gav, great question. Boys and girls, I want you to wear your GPS tracker as much as possible. The more you wear it, the more data. Data's king. The more data we've got for you, the more we can look at your stats and results. So even if you're doing sports at school, maybe you're doing cross-country running, wear the GPS tracker if you're able to. Now, again, remember, put the GPS tracker on, put your jersey over the top of it. No one needs to see it. Turn it on and off you go and away you go. So great question, Gav. Wear your GPS as much as you can. Michelle Wales, can we get some rough dates as we will stay on for a few weeks? So again, Michelle, yeah, we'll send all them provisional dates out next week. And then you can look to add weeks on at the end of the trip as well. That's a great idea. That would be my advice as well. Next question from Joe Z. Any thoughts on which methodology is better for a 9 or 10-year-old boy on moving from club, which is pass and focus, to a JDL-free format? Joe, it's a great question. I would not be too bothered on which club my son and daughter was at. As long as they're following their objectives, they're doing the football blueprint. One of the things that I would say is the only thing you should consider. So let's say we've got, who am I going to pick on? Let me see. Let's say Ford. I've got Ford sitting there looking at me with his hat on back to front. Good to see you, Ford. So let's say we've got Ford. Now, Ford's at a club and they're currently thinking about moving to another club. How would you ascertain which club is better? For me, it's the 2 Qs. It's quality over quantity. Now, if you're a mum and dad and you're sitting here, you could quite simply, for me, over a period of a couple of sessions, it's repetitive and boring, but it's so important to do. Actually keep a chitty of how many times your son and daughter touches the soccer ball in a session and record that for the whole session and do it maybe twice in a week and then average the score out. Then go and have a look at the club that you're thinking of moving to. Go and watch that age group train. See how many times they touch a ball in the session. The only thing I would be looking for in these sessions is the repetition of how many times they touch the ball. Everything else is irrelevant, because if you're following this program, you're following the objectives, you're following the football blueprint, you've got the GPS tracker, everything else will work out for you. So that was a great question, Joe. Thank you. Okay, we got 2 more questions to go. From Michelle, are they interested in VO footage? So when I submit video footage to clubs, We will submit our match analysis results of players. We have a dossier. It's like a folder which contains all of your information. And believe it or not, clubs are not really interested in seeing your video footage. They take my word as a player agent that you're good enough to go for a trial. When you're in that environment, that is when they are going to test you. That's when they're going to put you through your paces. So most clubs and all the clubs that I deal with don't ask for me to send video footage. So again, if the player I'm putting forward is Ford Jokic, so I'm putting Ford forward, I would not submit as match analysis in a sense of just the video. Quite simply as well, what you've got to understand, guys, these clubs don't have time to watch a 60, 70-minute video of your son and daughter. They want to know if you are up to the standard or not, and that's where I come in as a player agent and recommend the players. So great question. We have nearly 12 months of GPS data for Khaleesi. So that's great that you've got that, Michelle. So Khaleesi's data. So all he needs to do is basically take a week's worth from each month and just submit 1 week's worth of each month. And that'll give us a broad view of what he's looking at and what he's doing. One of the big things that we're looking for, Michelle, for all the players on the program, we want to ascertain on average how many accelerations they're doing, how many decelerations, what the distance is they're covering on average. So if I've got 12 games of Khaleesi across, maybe I've got 4 games each month across 12 months, I only need to see 1 game each month. And then I can then put all of the distances in, divide it by 12, and it's going to give me an average for Khaleesi. And I'll got a bit of a broad range if Khaleesi's on point or not with that GPS that we need, that data. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, guys, I think that is all the questions. There's no more in there. A big, big thank you for joining us. Again, don't wait until the next meeting. If you've got questions, drop them in the school community. If we need to guide you to an email, we'll always tell you email service. But in the first instance, don't hesitate, guys, to drop the question in the school community. Also, I'd make this mistake as well, but 1 or 2 of the parents in the past have dropped a message in the school community, and it's been a bit of a personal message. Make sure you message me directly within the school community on a message. Don't put it in a group chat if it's a personal question, because we don't want anyone to know your personal information, just from a protection point of view for the players and you as family. If it's a generic question and you think it's going to benefit the group, as an example, if Brendan Edwards, good to see you, Brendan, as well, mate. If Brendan drops a message in for us and it's a generic one that he thinks is useful for all the other mums and dads, then go for it, guys. That's what that group chat's for. Drop the question in, and we'll get that fixed up for you straight away and help you with it. So I've got one more final question, and I'll answer this. Then we will end the call because I know it's Saturday night and it's nearly 8 o'clock. This is from Chris Smith. Thanks, Chris, for all your questions tonight as well. There's been some great questions. Which would be better for a 16-year-old playing men's amateur or MPL or State League 18s or 23s? So I'll answer this in 2 ways. I've actually done a video on this on YouTube, and I'll share it in the school community for you when I finish the call. But I'll answer it really quickly for you in 60 seconds. If you're a boy or girl, the older you can train and the older you can play, the better, because that means you're being developed. And I'll give you a quick analogy on how you can look at it. If you're a 15 or 16-year-old boy and you're only training with 16-year-old boys, physically you're only going to be pushed to a similar limit to whatever 16-year-old boys can push you. If you've got a 16-year-old boy you can train in with a men's team, those men are physically going to be faster, stronger, fitter, which means your touch technically and tactically has got to get better, because quite simply, you are going to get smashed in that training session, in that game. So what happens is, this is where development happens. Unfortunately for all of our families in Australia and New Zealand, we've got this thing in Australia called an age relative effect, where they want you to stay in your age groups. I'm telling you now, it's the biggest load of nonsense ever. You should not be playing in your age group. If you get an opportunity to train up or play up, you should grab it for your son and daughter. Now, one of the big things is, just to finish off on that one, and this is a great question to finish off, Chris. Thank you for the question. If you can train up with older age groups or play up, and that's the only option you've got. My option would be train up and stay in your age group, because if you're able to get success with your age group, that's a good thing to build confidence. But then it's good to drop in with an older age group 2-3 times a week to get really pushed in training. Where if you're only able to play up an age or two, but you're not able to train with older players, you only get one opportunity a week. So hopefully that makes sense for everyone. So my advice on this is, the earlier you can play up age groups, the better. It's going to benefit your development, and your development is going to start to skyrocket really, really, really quickly. So families, this is our biggest turnout we've had this year so far. So big thank you for everyone joining us. If you are watching this on the recording, again, guys, drop in any questions in the school community and we'll happily help you. A big thank you from everyone who asked us questions. Chris, Christy, Dan, everyone who's dropped them in, a big, big thank you. And again, guys, don't hesitate. If you forgot to ask a question, I'm going to be online probably for another hour on the school community. Drop it in the school community and I'll get back to you straight away. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world.